Hello everyone, I'll give you a brief introduction to the thinkFinance Market browser, which you can open by clicking on this button here in the main window. Now the Market browser gives you an overview over the current state of financial markets, and it has one pane for equities, one for foreign exchange, one for commodity markets, and one for interest rates. Let's start with the equity markets. Now down here you can select the region you want to look at. Now let's assume I want to look at the European region, so I look at Europe. And what you see here in the main table are all major European equity indices and the current price information and the price movement here. Now let's assume I'm interested in the UK market, so I'm going to the FTSE 100 here, and if I open this folder here, what you see is there is a list of sub-indices. So there's a FTSE 100 index, the FTSE 250, FTSE 350, and so on. And of course, the current price information. You can also drill into each index. So for example, I open the folder for the FTSE 100. And here you see all the components and the price data for the FTSE 100. You also see the trading volumes, the 1 year range, and bid and ask spread information. What you can do is, if you're interested in a certain share, for example this one, you can double click on it and it opens the chart analyst that shows the history of this share compared to the FTSE 100 benchmark. You can also select several shares, for example this and this. Once again, you click on the chart button and it opens the chart analyst and it shows these two shares compared to the FTSE 100 benchmark. What you can also do, of course, is to sort the table according to any of these columns. For example, you can sort the table according to the price movement, and here you see the components of the FTSE 100 sorted according to the current price movement. Now let's move to the FX markets. This table works the same way as the equity markets. Down here you can select the region, for example main currencies, developed markets, emerging markets, precious metals. Let's select all of them. And here you see the table of all major global currencies and precious metals. Once again, you can sort this table, and of course you can click on a history plot. For instance, if I want to look at the history of the Swiss franc in dollars, all I have to do is I double click here and it opens the chart analyst with the history of the Swiss franc in dollars. The next pane is the commodity markets. Here you see the current status of commodity futures markets. And once again, you can sort the table and you can also open any of them in the chart browser. What you see here is the forward curve for cocoa futures. You see here the futures chain, the current price and the previous closing price. Last but not least, let's go to the interest rates. Here you see the current yield curves for the currencies that I can select in this table here. So I can easily add currencies or remove them. And in addition to the yield curve plot, you see the yield curve also in this table here. What you can do is, if you're interested in the history of one of these yields, for instance, if I'm interested in the US dollar 10 years yield, I can go to this field, 10 years US dollar, I double click on it, and the chart analyst opens and shows me the interest rate history of the 10-year yield in US dollars. Or if I'm interested in the history of the yield curve of the US dollar, I can click on the US dollar in the first column here, and it opens the chart analyst showing the yield curve and the 0 and forward curve. And in the chart analyst, I can change the date. I can move backward in time by changing the date and can look at the history of the yield curve. That concludes my introduction to the thinkFinance Market browser. If you want to know more information about the market browser, or you want to know more about thinkFinance, please visit our website thinkfinance.eu. Thank you for watching and goodbye.